Hey everybody, welcome to Just a Point of View. I am your podcast/videocast host, Denise Reed, and I am chasing happiness fiercely. And I am thrilled that you've come to hang out with me for a few minutes in your busy, crazy day. And today I am exploring purpose because I realize that if you aren't motivated by purpose or you're missing your purpose, you could be missing out on some happiness in your life because you're just floundering around out here and wondering which direction you should go. And I thought that in addition to exploring my own purpose for myself, I'm exploring purpose for my business. And my work is all about creating happiness for others. And in pursuit of that process, I'm creating happiness for myself. And I hope that you'll come along for the journey. I have realized in a little bit of an in-depth dig for finding purpose in your career and in your business that there are 3 basic steps that can help you explore what your purpose might be. If you are clueless in Seattle, grab a piece of paper and a pen and let's play along today. And I'll try to make sure that I underscore the points for you and apply some simple, experiments or journaling opportunities, or I don't know what exactly you would call them, but the process begins with some reflection. So here we go. It's about digging deep to find your joyful why. And there are some ways that you can do this, and they're actually kind of fun, I think, to explore what drives you, what's the undercurrent that brings meaning for your life. And the first step is actually reflecting on who you really are and where you can thrive in that happiness. And exploring the purpose and happiness in your life will definitely be intertwined. And I hope that we can uncover what matters most to you and tap into your joy-filled well in your life. One of the really cool things, I think, and was inspired by, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher his name, I don't mean to, but it's Mr. Toyota, and I believe he pronounces his name Saikichi. It's spelled Sakichi, and he developed the 5 Whys, WHY' exercise. And he recommended that you write down something that you love. An example would be, for me, is my podcast. I love researching the content that I share with you each week, and it starts with that. So I wrote down, I love creating my podcast. And in this exercise, the next step is to ask, why does this make me happy? And the reason why my podcast makes me happy is I get to use all my skills, my speaking to you confidently on the screen and in person when I have the opportunity to do that. And I also enjoy the graphics part of my podcast, sharing my logo and the little bullet markers and those kinds of things and the technology that's involved in it. So that's, I guess, why it makes me happy. And then also sharing, maybe it's because I'm sharing what I've learned with my audience. That's another reason why I like that. And the next step is to ask why again. Why is it that my podcast makes me happy? And why is it that I love to use my skills? And this exercise is about going 5 whys deeper into exploring the exercise of why you like to do something. It could be something fun for you to do, maybe with your kids or your significant other, and take those 5 whys of digging deeper into your purpose. It could have some very meaningful impact. And then another exercise that you might try is a Venn, V-E-N-N diagram. It's a Japanese concept for your reason for being. On a piece of paper, draw 4 big circles so you have some room to write. And your first circle is what you love, what you're passionate about. Your second circle is what you're good at. Your third circle is what the world needs, or what you perceive the world needs. And your fourth circle is what you could get paid for. And hopefully, as you're writing those ideas out in those big circles on your piece of paper, you'll find that there's an overlap of purpose, and that you'll find your happiness sweet spot in that overlap. In fact, a friend of mine, specifically my sister, loves to garden, and she's quite skilled at it. And she sometimes believes that the world needs sustainable food and flowers. And she could sell her flowers, she could sell her food, she could take the food that she grows and give it to members of her church or her community that maybe don't have access to the abundance from her garden. She could take the flowers that she grows in her yard to my mom to brighten her day. In fact, she went to visit my mom this week because she's going to be gone over Mother's Day weekend, and brought my mom a small cake to celebrate Mother's Day and a big bouquet of flowers. And my mom just couldn't stop talking about how excited she was to see my sister and share that cake with her and look at the bouquet of flowers and how they brightened up her apartment. And you could do the same if that is your passion for growing things or giving gifts. So take some time out and reflect on what brings you joy and why those things bring you joy. Here's the next part of exploring your purpose. You may want to experiment some. And there are a few people that have thought about experimenting with purpose and happiness. And I just love, in fact, I have Elizabeth Gilbert's book in my research. She came up, Big Magic and Creative Living Beyond Fear. I just love this book that she wrote. And she specifically pointed out that curiosity led to joy for her. And she said, don't bother chasing the grand purpose of everything. Try something small. Try fun experiments. If you love music, maybe take a guitar lesson or go to a concert for a music genre that maybe you're not that familiar with, to expand your appreciation for maybe a new genre, or bring someone along to a genre concert that you enjoy that maybe somebody else hasn't experienced in their own life. Or maybe you could volunteer at a local event and maybe create a passion project sprint. Bring one thing or comment for weeks and spend an hour a day on it. Reflect on things that put a smile on your face, that make you feel alive. It could really shift your life by taking these small little incremental steps to experiment with things that bring you joy. In fact, Sinek says your why shows up in what you do consistently. And he says that notice what you keep returning to. It's likely tied to what makes you happy. And for me, it's serving others and finding ways to make their days better here at the Concierge Office Suites. I love that. In fact, I giggled at one of my clients when she came by the front desk in our candy dish and she was looking through there to find the perfect something for her. We have a variety of candy. And I could see her face light up when she found like the ultimate candy for her. And I thought, that's awesome to know that I could bring that little moment of joy into her life today. And the whole concept of the Concierge Office Suites is to do that for our clients and their guests. One other thing that brings me joy is when I set up our meeting themes for our word spinners meetings and have our Toastmasters stand up and use those themes and see how much they enjoy experimenting with them and the different aspects of speaking at our word spinners meetings. It's really a lot of fun, and we sometimes have some real comedians or real storytellers, and they get to share their stories in our meetings, and I love that. That's purpose-driven work for me. One other recommended book along purpose is Angela Duckworth's book titled Grit. She says that it's sometimes sticking with a challenge, even when it's hard, builds happiness through growth. So she recommends that you have a hard thing rule and pick a purpose-driven goal and persist at it to see how you develop your skills as you're working through and accomplishing things that weren't easy for you to start out with or initiate. She truly believes that your performance in building grit in your life can change your perspective on your purpose. So here's our third and final point: align living your purpose for daily happiness. Think about making purpose part of your everyday life to keep happiness flowing. Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, says that meaning comes from answering life's daily question: what can I do now? I'll just let that sit with you for a minute. Purposeful actions like helping a friend or creating art or sparking joy even through the tough moments brings purpose forefront in your life. Think about when you start writing thank you notes to people that have done something for you, have left meaningful impact in your life. It may have felt a small thing, but to you it had huge impact. And even Rick Warren, with a purpose-driven life, he offers a 40-day plan to align with purpose, and it's a happiness booster. He says that for 1 week, set a daily goal tied to your reflections or experiments. And maybe it's about mentoring or cooking for a family, some act of service to help someone else. So, in conclusion, you can chase happiness through your purpose. And maybe you didn't realize that you had a purpose generated around your life because you haven't taken an adult time out for that. So take a few moments to reflect and dig deep to find your joy-filled why. Experiment and test your purpose for happiness as you're going through your week or your daily life. And then align your purpose for daily happiness to make sure that you're achieving that purpose. These 3 things, reflect, experiment, and align your life, can help you as you maybe go through your 5 whys or your Ikigai to find your joyful core with your 4 circles, and maybe create a passion project sprint as you live your life. And I want to encourage you to chase happiness fiercely and look at those ways that you can bring more happiness into your life. And I am thrilled that you've come to hang out with me today on Just a Point of View. And hopefully I've helped you explore purpose in your own life and more fully develop that purpose as you do a deep dive into the things that I've shared today. So thanks with me, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.